Hi everyone, this is Kirubhakar from Cinema Express.
Hi, Kuru. Hi, man.
Hi.
So I watched the film Ramula and I have a few questions for you. I'll start with the director Tharun Bhascker. So can you tell me where you got the idea from? Can you trace me to the point where you got the nod from for the film?
So basically, I've heard about these incidents which are happening in and around Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, and it's a very common occurrence. It's not like a new thing that happened recently or something. Ever since the advent of media, there's been events like this happening, but we take it pretty casually. It just happens to be printed in a very small tabloid and a paper. But for me, it just shook me up, and I could see through the entire thing, the depth of the way these characters were. Because every time we talk about villages and everything, we have a very voyeuristic perspective where we just third person, we just look at them, we laugh it off because their conflicts are always very trivial to us, at least the people in the urban areas. But there are very, very, very grey emotions, there are very complex emotions behind every decision that they take. So it was very thought-provoking for me when I heard it.
My next question is, do you like to write about slackers? So because your first film, Pelli Choopulu, had a similar character who has this devil-may-care attitude. And you can see a same character in this film as also.
Yeah, so I see myself in them. I'm a slacker.
I was just going to say that. Tharun writes about himself.
Yeah, so I am lazy, but I find that very very interesting in my surroundings, especially Hyderabad, because every shop in Hyderabad opens only at 10 o'clock and it's early morning 10.
Yeah.
So
Mostly
that's
11.
Yeah, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, mostly 11. None of the restaurants or even coffee shops open before that.
Yeah, so it is very Hyderabadi to get up at 11 o'clock and all that. So I find that very prevalent. Even in the rural areas, I've seen characters who are like that, who are kind of slacking around and everything. And I think it's very natural for me to write that way. So.
Yeah, because here we are just very relaxed. It's like that Nawabi style.
Nawabi style culture.
Right.
Just, I like disco.
So this question is for Lakshmi Manchu. So did you have any hesitations or a consideration before playing this role, or you just jumped into it?
No,
Not at all.
not at all. I was like, I got to play this role because it's very far from who I am as a person, and that's what excites me to go dig deeper into how can I become Swarupaka, and if I was there, how would I behave, how would I interact, and I was in a phase in my life that I really needed to get some dirt out of my being, and the only way I feel channeled in a more healthy way is when I put it into my art, because otherwise I'm going to go destruct people, places. So when I can, and it was a perfect timing for me to be able to play this role, and I didn't really give Tharun a choice after he narrated the script to me. Yeah.
All right. So as Lakshmi, how do you look at this character?
Oh, it's just so mean. How can she be thinking of herself like that? Because I'm all about global. I call myself a global citizen and world peace, and I really innately believe that if my intention is so true, that every day that I'm making this world a better place, not just for me but everyone around me, and I can't really think so. What's the word I'm looking for? Just about myself. I cannot, and I know people who only it's I, me, myself, and I had just witnessed something like that in my life, and I was in a shock phase, and that's when this happened, and it was easy for me to connect to Swarupaka when I was thinking about people like this.
So maybe it was a coincidence. She drew from that well of emotion.
There are no coincidences. They're all perfectly planned for me to do this.
Okay, this question is for Saanvee. So when you heard the script first, what was your initial reaction and what went into creating this role?
Okay, so what happened the first time Tharun narrated the story to me, I was stunned. I knew that he has written this for me. I wanted to do it no matter what. And I think there was this very emotional scene in the film where I was just telling myself, I was talking to myself, how do I do it? How do I emote that particular strong emotion? And that was the time I learned on the set that I was just putting myself in her place and how would she actually emote. I mean, that was a very, it actually stunned me as an actor that how would Ramula really emote if she was, how would I emote if I were Ramula at that point of time. So I think it was the character I've got from Tharun is like, amazing. I think it's something an actor wants.
Okay. Naivety and innocence is something we associate with good people, and bad things end up happening to them. So what do you have to say to Ramulas out there?
Especially women, I feel a woman is a word, it's a synonym for a word power. And I think every woman has to be strong, and it's a very female attribute, that is courage. So I think, so I think just feel the power and never give up.
Okay, this question is for Abhay. So that character made me laugh a lot. Okay, the dialogue delivery was perfect, and I just wanted to ask whether you are the same person as that character.
Oh, that is a question.
Can you look at him? Does he look like that? My God.
No, I'm not. I'm completely opposite to that character.
There is a point in the film where he goes through a complete transformation after having sexual intercourse with his lover. So, do you think sexual deprivation is cause for a lot of problems in society and for an individual as well?
I don't think so.
How? That's
it
a
depends
strong
upon the
question.
characterization actually. Ramchandra is like that.
Yeah, we had this discussion. Me and Naveen, we had this discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll answer that.
You should answer that.
So that's what I had this question posed to me even by a couple of people when we were discussing and all that. See, in urban areas, we compartmentalize relationships, saying there's a live-in, this is a fling, this is this thing and everything. Even psychiatrists say that, you'll have to, if there's one particular popular scene in Shah Rukh Khan's film, if you're choosing a chair by sitting on it so many times, and then you choose the chair for your house, what about a life partner? So urban people have at least evolved in a stage where we can communicate, articulate and compartmentalize relationships. But we've completely ignored the rural side of things because here it's very complex. Because it's a taboo.
True.
It's a taboo. Nobody talks about it. The moment you think about sex in the land of Kama Sutra, it suddenly becomes like you are a bad person or something. Right. And what happens is a lot of people cannot communicate. Right? They cannot communicate. And because of that, there are a lot of honor killings. And everything that's happening. This is a very serious, very deep, complex topic that we can only touch on a superficial level. But I'm very sure that, I've seen people commit, at least in the rural areas, I've seen people commit after they know they have found some kind of physical intimacy. For them, it is, we have to talk about Freudian concepts of all that. So, but nevertheless, on a simpler thing, I know that for sure when I have whatever little conversations I've had with people, the kind of lives I've seen, they commit a lot, their commitment is a lot deeper when there's physical intimacy in a relationship, which is a taboo in rural areas, and people taking advantage of this situation is horrible. That's a last story.
Right. Okay. I'll throw this question to everyone. So after watching the film, I realized it doesn't tell you any message. It just shows you a story. And there are a lot of ways with which it can be interpreted. So I just wanted to know the interpretation of each one of you.
So what I've thought is, they say women are women's worst enemies, right? So I think apart from the whole patriarchy and masculinity, all that aside, I think a woman should stand up for another woman first. And they actually should speak up for another woman's skills or be their strength or tell their stories out. So I think #she for she. Yes, this is one thing I really wanted to say.
I think how I saw my character and when I portrayed what I did and looking at the entire story is we were not treated as man or woman. We were treated as these people in a certain place, in a certain situation, and how would you cope with it, and I think Tharun did a fantastic job in writing characters as characters rather than a woman or a man. I think Swarupaka could have been a man and people would have completely accepted it with no questions asked. Now, because I come in to play this as a woman, they're like, how did you play this? I'm like, no, I played it as a person in a place, and how would I as Swarupaka react to what I was seeing happen? I see something wrong happening and I want to get back at them. Obviously, my intention was not what you see in the climax, but I have the right intention to get back at the people who think that we are just doormats, and that's how I played it. It wasn't like I'm a woman playing this role. I never looked at it like that. No.
So basically, we should not, there should be gender equality. You should never think like he's a man, so he's against a woman. She is a woman, so she'll help another woman. It's not like that. It depends upon the personal characterization. So we should not see, the message is there in the film. Like once you watch the film, you'll understand what is it all about. Whatever you see, you shouldn't believe it until and unless you know the complete story. That's the basic line of it, and that's very heart touching. Because nowadays we are always watching TVs and YouTube, Facebook. We'll watch everything and we'll just listen something. We don't know what happens exactly, and we'll start commenting on the other person. That's the worst thing that's happening now. That has to be changed, person. So that's the main motto. I looked it in that way, and there is a lot of message in the film, like the characterization, the Ramchandra, the way he is there, because he changed. You are saying like once he is physically he fell in love with the girl, then his character changed a lot. So there are so many people like that, and the women like Ramula, they should be more stronger. She is stronger when she is talking to Ramchandra, but she is not stronger when she is facing the society. Woman has to face the society. They have to be they should come very strong, because they shouldn't face when you are facing the society. You will face so many people, like all the people, they don't support you. There are people who want to see the negative in you. You should never think about them. You have to stay strong and you have to live for yourself. You should not think about what others thinking about you and what they are commenting on you. That shouldn't be there for anybody, not only for women, but anybody, everybody.
Right.
That was
Okay, and
for me.
Wow. Well said, Abhay. Wow.
So that's what when I was writing it also, for me, my inspiration for writing this also was Coen Brothers. Now Coen Brothers have a very dark side of looking at things, and it's very realistic. So when we watched, me and my team watched Fargo and all these other things, how they look at things is, we're used to cinema that there's one particular simplistic message that one film gives, and there's a simplistic two-dimensional character, and that goes through a particular journey. But art isn't like that. So when I look at a painting and I perceive something, because that's my conditioning from where I was brought up, I look at an apple in a different way, and people here can look at it in a very different way. Human beings are as complex, stories are as complex, intentions are also complex. So I'm saying, how can we compartmentalize Swarupaka, and what if she was the most genuine character in the film, but she didn't know that her intention would have gone another way? What if Ramula was the weakest, but she appeared strong in the start? What if Ramchandra had the purest intentions, but you think that he's spoiled by this thing? So human beings are very complex. We cannot compartmentalize them. All we can do is watch, and there's not one message in the film, but if you look at it, in the undercurrent is that stop judging people by just one dimension, just like how Abhay said it.
Right.
Because there's so much more. And that's how we were able to create a world. I believe very clearly that when you watch Ramula, at least to a certain extent, we have created a world, a small universe, where you will watch again and again and pick up little details that has so much of a collaborative effort. Because I know that Saanvee has done her homework. She had to become somebody else. And that's the beauty about acting and being a part of this collaborative process, is to empathize with characters. All of us have a lot of empathy for these characters. We do not see them as two-dimensional. And that's why we were able to create this world. Lakshmi Man had to draw from those well of emotions that she suddenly got accustomed to. Little details that she was putting in. But all of them loved their characters when they were playing it. And they were playing it with complete honesty. So there's not one theme in this film. You can watch it again and again and you see a little world with 3 different intentions, 3 different arcs, all colliding together. Just how nature is intended to be and how it is basically. So.
And with that, we come to the end of the interview. Thank you for answering the questions and all the best for your film.
Thank you so much for such good questions, man.
Yeah, you did a great
Thank you for watching the film and actually watching it again and designing these questions. Very nice. Thank you so much. Thanks, man.